everyone, welcome back to Rays of Tarot, and welcome if you are new. In today's really freaking excited pick a pile, we are going to look into what messages your person's higher self has for you at this time, okay? So now I wanted to clarify just real quick what I personally mean with higher self. Of course, everyone can have a slightly different conception and feel of what that means. To me, when I speak about someone's higher self, is the version of themselves that is not bound by fear, that is not tied by their anxieties, that is like super aligned with their inner core values and their inner core truth of who they are, if that makes sense. Okay, so this will often look like the most highly elevated values and the most aligned principles, and just acting out of love and compassionate and empathetic and understanding and that type of just high vibe energies. Okay, so this is also why I'm so freaking excited for this reading, because the energy that is already just like existing within these piles as I'm feeling it right now is just so freaking beautiful, so freaking high. And then I just also wanted to let you guys know that for the first time I'm going to be offering a extended version of each reading. So the readings that I'm posting here on YouTube are just going to be like I always would do. There's nothing less to it, just because I'm going to do extended. Just take the extended as a little extra, a little bonus, okay? So what we're going to do exactly is for each different pile, we are going to look first into some pre-shuffled oracles that I have pre-shuffled, of course, as I just said, and then that will basically tell us the energy of your person's higher self towards you and the messages that they have for you. And then afterwards we're going to look into the tarot to essentially just go a little bit more in depth about what they want you to know, what they want you to take into consideration, just things that they feel like you need to know about this connection at this time. And at the end of each pile we're going to take some advice, as well as channel messages from your person's higher self, as well as spirit animals. And then in the extended, we are going to look into your person's 3D versus like their human self, their energy for you, towards you at this time, as well as their intentions and possible next moves and actions towards you, okay? So yeah, without further ado, for the piles today, we have 3 piles. The first one is the Muse Tarot with this. I'm honestly not entirely sure if this is Green Aventurine or Fluorite, because it is quite... or maybe it's neither. If anyone is like a crystals aficionado, is that a word? I don't know. If anyone knows what this is, then definitely let me know in the comments, so I will not like, you know, give false information. But yeah, we have this beautiful green crystal for pile 1 with the Muse Tarot. Then for pile 2, we have the True Heart Tarot with this beautiful little citrine point thingy. And then for pile 3, we have the White Sage Tarot with this gorgeous Celestite cluster crystal. So definitely do feel free to take your time with the piles and the crystals to see which one or which ones call you the most. And you will find the link to the extended down below in the description, as well as in the pinned comment. And yeah, also as per usual, feel absolutely welcome to leave me a comment down below letting me know how your pile or piles resonated, as it means absolutely everything to me to know how my readings land on the other side of the screen. And also feel free to leave a like and subscribe. That really helps the channel with the algorithm. And yeah, thank you so much for being here, and I will see you on your pile. Hi pile 1, if you chose this beautiful mystery green crystal that I honestly don't know if it's aventurine or fluorite or something else, so again, if you know, please let me know which one it is. And the Muse Tarot, this is going to be a reading all about your person's higher self's messages and energy towards you. So if you skip the intro, you might just want to go back and listen to it real quick. You can speed it up if you're like in a hurry or something. I explained a little bit more about what I mean with higher self and essentially all the steps that we're going to be doing. In today's reading, we do have an extended version in which we are going to look into your 3D human person's self energy towards you, and their possible intentions and actions towards you, as well as channel messages from them. So what we're going to do in this part of the reading here on YouTube is we are going to look into these pre-shuffled oracles that I have here for you in order to see essentially your person's higher self energy towards you, and just like the general messages that they want to convey to you. And with the tarot, we're going to dive a little bit more in depth about the messages that they have for you, the things that they think that you should know about this connection, etc., etc. And then in the third part of this reading, we're going to look into some advice for you, as well as channel messages from your person's higher self to you, and spirit animals that are relevant to you, your person's higher self, your connection, just relevant spirit animals in general with specific messages for you and your connection. And then what we're going to do in the extended reading, which the link will be down below for you guys in the description as well as the pinned comment, we will look into your person's, like your physical human 3D person's energy towards you, as well as their intentions and possible actions, as well as channel messages from their 3D self towards you. Okay, so that is what we're going to do. I hope that is clear and not all over the place. Without further ado, let's just start with your person's higher self energy and messages towards you. Okay, so first we have coherence with number 13, and this card reads: the frequency of coherence supports our ability to harmonize the frequency of the heart with the frequency of the mind for an optimal ability to create the reality that we desire. Next, we have two elemental cards for you. The first one is the number 11 with comfort and hearth. How do you pronounce it? I am not entirely sure. I should have looked it up. The next one is south with adventure and the number 2. Then we have number 50 with become the elixir, let your glow do the heavy lifting. This card is so beautiful. Then we have shift. And we have deep cellular healing with Arcturus energy, physical and emotional healing. I feel like I want to do this, or do I actually want to do this? Yeah, that looks more peaceful to me and aesthetically satisfying. Okay, pile 1. First thing that I feel called to say is that your person's higher self has you in such high regard. Like, they see you in such a beautiful elevated light. Like, they believe in you so much. They have this beautiful, heart-centered, open, radiating energy towards you. And they know that although you might have been struggling within this connection, because I definitely do feel like this has been some kind of very challenging, emotionally speaking, spiritually speaking, just like inner, in terms of like your inner world and your inner processes about yourself and about this connection, it has been a quite tough journey. I do feel like either this has been a connection that has been going on for quite a while now, but for most of you, I feel like this is a relatively new connection that has just been very, very intense and very high energy. It's been like a catalyst for like very rapid expansion and growth within you, possibly also your person, but this is more about like your person's higher self towards you specifically. Your person's higher self wants to confirm to you that this connection has a very specific purpose in your life. And that is probably of triggering the living heck out of you, of both showing you your potential, like the beautiful light that you have within you, that you are capable of radiating within the world, like into the world, as well as shedding light on your deep wounded aspects of yourself, like the unhealed wounds. I feel like this person, when they came into your life, you were probably doing more or less okay. Like you were likely, like, of course it doesn't have to resonate with everyone. This, just take it as it resonates for you personally, but you were probably doing somewhat okay when this person came into your life, and then suddenly you started to get confronted with all these unhealed wounds that you had, these patterns that probably came up very strongly, these, like, I want to say a lot of anxiety, like heart-centered anxiety. I'm being told a lot of anxiety possibly about this person has arisen within yourself through this connection. Your person's higher self is really telling you that this is because you were meant, like this person has been acting as a trigger and as a catalyst for your personal expansion, personal growth. This does not mean that this person is just like a means to an end or anything. I just noticed that this is very uncentered. Oh my god, so unsatisfying. Let me fix this real quick. Virgos be like, okay, this is better. There were a lot of things that had to be put into place. Like, I just want to do this for a second and show you the beautiful color scheme of these cards. I'm getting very lightheaded at this moment. Not entirely sure why. Oh, I know why. All this purple, this pink, this purple, this pink. Look at how this is. I'm obsessed. I could literally just stare at these cards for like 3 hours now and just stop talking and just look at them. But this connection has really opened you up to your, I want to say, to your psychic abilities, so probably like your clairsentience, to your third eye energy, to your crown chakra. And I want to say it hasn't done opening those chakras up for you yet. Like it has. I keep getting the word like catalyzing, triggering, just like kickstarting some type of deep cellular healing, physical and emotional healing within you. And I feel like with this physical and emotional healing, this has also probably shed light on how you were, I want to say, mistreating your own physical body, your 3D self. I do feel like you are likely, like, this is very high vibe energy. Like, I want to make that clear. I feel like if you resonate with this pile, you likely are quite spiritually inclined person. Like, you are indeed just like, there's a lot of like third eye and crown chakra energy. Of course, like this is higher energy because it's coming from your person's higher self, but this person knows that you are capable of dealing with these things, that you are in the right energy and in the right frequency, I want to say, to deal with these higher chakra energies, if you will. I feel like if you feel annoyed by all these terms and you're like, what are you even talking about, chakras and energies and frequency, I feel like this might not be your pile. Although, if you feel triggered but still intrigued, then that might be part of why your person's higher self wanted you to see this reading. But yes, if you... For a lot of you, I feel like you will know what I'm talking about when I speak about like third eye chakra and crown chakra and that kind of things. And you know that it's just like way more than these words in themselves could like convey. There's a lot of depth within you that has been uncovered through this person being into your life. And I feel like for some of you, this person hasn't even been physically very present in your life. And this might be why you have been triggered so much, and perhaps like separation anxiety or like abandonment anxiety, things like that have been arising within you, because this person has sort of, perhaps you feel this person's energy so much, like in the middle of the day, like you might dream about them, you might just like have random thoughts like that feel as if they were just like coming from the outside in rather than coming from you yourself about this person. But your person might not be super physically present within your like life. But yes, what I was about to say with this physical and emotional healing, this, and also with this coherence card, and the fact that we have like comfort and adventure here, and shift, and become the elixir, let you glow, do the heavy lifting. Like, this is all about alignment for you. That's also another strong word that is comes through in my head for your pile. It's alignment. Like, this has been, you might have been quite in your comfort zone before this person coming into your life, and suddenly when this person came into your life, just like a lot of changes just like suddenly started happening, just like one after another. So like 1 month I'm one person, and the next month I'm like, who was that bitch 1 month ago? I don't know her. Changed completely new, like new me, who this. And it might have felt just very like automatic, as in the sense of like it's almost like these shifts are happening and they're like out of your control. Just like you're exponentially expanding and healing and changing as a human being. You barely can even do anything about it. Like, you couldn't even stop this process if you tried. There's this feeling of you have to find this comfort within these shifts and these changes, because these changes are something that are meant to be happening to you at this time. And you shouldn't be afraid of going with them. Like, I do feel like, you know, pretty much, or like this person's higher self, like they want to tell you, like, if you don't know already, like no matter what happens in the physical, with this person, without this person, with you, I feel like this is one of the lessons that this person's presence in your life, or lack thereof, has meant to give to you, is like the awareness that no matter what happens, you will be okay, that you are so divinely freaking supported, and you have so much freaking power within you. And these things are just like starting now to like awaken within you. I'm getting things like perhaps like, yeah, psychic abilities, like tarot readings, perhaps like channeling, things like that, like Reiki, some type of like Akashic Records reading, things like that, that you are getting in touch with now, and that you probably would not have been so rapidly getting into or like expanding within, if this person would not have come into your life. Like, there's this clear message of like, this person has been given to you for a very good reason, and that's for your personal growth and healing, essentially. And alignment, like alignment, it's a catalyst and a trigger for alignment, through indeed probably triggering like wounds and like unhealed pains and like inner childhood triggers and things like that. And your person's higher self is also giving you a message of like, don't be afraid to go into it. Don't be afraid. Use your brain and your heart. Don't be afraid to use either. Don't be afraid to dive deep within yourself, and don't be afraid to dive deep with this person as well, if that is something that you are being offered the potential to do, because there's so much freaking power and light to be like reclaimed from this connection, and just from the things that are being triggered and awakened within you. Wow. I feel like this person's higher self also wants you to find peace within yourself, within your own heart, and find your center, find your alignment. I keep getting the word alignment. And I know you know what this means. Like, if this is your pile and it resonates, you know exactly what that means, because it's happening to you, and you're like, I feel like your 3D self is like, what the fuck is happening? But your higher self is like, oh yeah, I know exactly what is happening. Like, fuck yeah, love this. But okay, let's look into like a little bit more into depth, what more messages your higher self has for you about this connection, specifically with this person in the 3D. Your person's higher self and your higher self are definitely very connected and very much in touch with one another. They feel like on a very similar wavelength, if you will. Like, I keep using those kind of words that would trigger anyone who is sort of like who doesn't know what those things mean, and who see them as only like woo woo, new age, spirituality, weird terms that don't mean anything at all, actually. But you know, if you know, you know. These messages are not for the people who don't want to take them, I guess. So if you are like annoyed by these words, then let that be the message for this reading, I guess. But let's look into your person's higher self's messages for you at this time about this connection. This is the Muse Tarot, and all decks that I use for every reading are always listed down below in the description box, and for the extended there will also be a link down below so you can easily find it. But okay, let's look into your person's higher self messages to pile 1 at this time about, okay, look at this, about this connection with pile 1's person. What else? What other messages does pile 1's person's higher self have for pile 1 at this time about this connection? Growth. Again, this is what I'm getting. Like, look at this card. Growth. It's just the word that is coming through with this card. Look at this. Look at, oh my god. Number 6 with the lovers. So we have earth energy, we have Gemini energy. What else? We have the Queen of Swords. So in terms of synchronistic images and things, we have roses and lotus flowers, especially pink lotus and blue lotus, I want to say, although this is more like a rainbow lotus, which I'm not sure is an actual thing. But pink lotus, blue lotus, flowers in general, I guess, just like very high vibe. Like roses and lotuses are a couple of the most high frequency flowers that there are. Okay, like this is very reflective of the energy that this connection is in, and the higher, like the higher self, oops, that is way too many, higher self energies of this connection, which I do feel for some of you, not for everyone, for some of you, you are not, you might be like, indeed just not be super, like a lot in contact with this person at this time. You might be in separation, it doesn't have to be. We will see in the extended, I guess. We do have the Star. Oh my god. Number 17 or 8 with Aquarius energy. Like, look at this energy, you guys. We have 2 major arcanas, a Queen and a 10 of Pentacles. What else? What other messages does person's higher self, Pile 1's person's higher self have for Pile 1 at this time? And the Page of Pentacles. Don't lose hope, I'm hearing. Stay curious, stay open. What about this 10 of Pentacles, please? What about this 10 of Pentacles, please? Messages from Pile 1's person's higher self to Pile 1 about this connection. What about the 10 of Pentacles, please? Okay, so we have the Ace of Wands. And we have the 7 of Wands to clarify the lovers. What about the Queen of Swords, please? Oh my god, you guys, this is so beautiful. Look at this. We have the 9 of Wands to clarify the Queen of Swords. I want you to own your power. This connection is meant for you to own your power. We have the 2 of Cups in reverse. Yeah, don't lose hope. Again, like if this is not happening right now, if right now it feels like, again, for some of you it will feel like this is just not happening, because I do get quite some frustration, quite some like disheartenment towards this person or this connection. You might be like, I feel this so strongly, and I know I am so strongly in touch with my own higher self and this person's higher self. Like you can feel this person's higher self a lot of the time as well. Like I feel like you're not new with this energy that I'm describing. You're not new to your person's higher self. You're not new to this person's energies, just in general. But for some reason, I feel like you're like, I can feel it so much, but what if it's just in my head? What if it's just, what if I'm like fooling myself? What if I'm bullshitting myself? What if I'm making this up and this is actually just like, what if I'm delusional, essentially? We have the 5 of Wands to clarify the Page of Pentacles. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the 2 of Pentacles. I want to see what's below that. We have, yeah, the 3 of Swords. Okay, so this is exactly the energy that I was talking about. This is all about allow your inner voice, your inner passion, your inner inspiration, your inner drive to push you forward. Don't let your anxiety or like your fears about these triggers that are coming up within you, about your anxieties, don't allow that to overtake your decisions and how you act and how you see and how you feel about this person. Because if you like, it's okay. Also, don't want to say like, oh, you should only feel very positively about this person no matter what they do. Because I do feel like this person, and again, we don't know, we will see in the extended, but I feel like this person might have, with these triggers, they might have a lot of things to solve within themselves as well, and they might not be doing super well either, which is why you might sort of like have this push and pull and this like clashing but also super magnetic it's like clashing and magnetic at the same time. It's like pulling, but at the same time it's sort of like does that make sense? um it's like your higher selves are doing this to you. Like this is happening within you as well as within the connection. They're like pulling you apart and aside so that you can like let this light in, this light shine through. Don't let the negative things, like don't gaslight yourself, and don't sort of like close your eyes on the negative things that happen. Like use those things for sure. Like hold this person accountable and hold yourself accountable for when you know lower vibe and unaligned things happen. Like if you have like harsh exchanges of words or just like some things that just like feel super off between the two of you, then definitely like take those things and take accountability for what is yours to take accountability for. But also hold this person accountable, but at the same time don't lose sight of this deeper inner core knowing feeling that you have about this connection, about what you want with this person, from this person, what you want from yourself within this connection. Because I know that, like, I want to say I know, but like through these cards I feel like this is your person's high. I keep on like talk in first person, because again I feel like you are so in touch already with these higher energies, like with your higher self and this person's higher self. So I'm just gonna do that. I know that you have this ideal version of how things would go, of this, you have an idea of this is how I want to feel with this person, this is how I want, how confident, how strong, and how empowered I personally want to feel with this person. But you're not living up to that yet, and this is exactly why all of this has to happen. These energies have to happen so that you can get in touch with those energies and realize like, oh, this is not how I want to be acting in life, this is not how I want to be acting with this person. You can choose. Like if these triggers and these clashes did not happen, you would not even be able to recognize, oh, this is a low vibe energy, and like I don't want this low vibe energy. I want to raise my own fucking frequency and do better, because I deserve better. I am better than this. I know that I have more power than this, and I know that I can unleash so much more than I have been giving so far. I know that I can do better. I know that I can get better. And this is not coming from like a self-pity as in like, oh, I suck right now, and oh my god, I'm so shitty, and I'm small, and I need to fix myself. This is more coming from a place of like, I crave this empowerment. It's coming from like a positive, like inspired action, inspired inner action, I guess. There's definitely this message, if you have been sort of like, if your anxiety has been telling you, haha, you're delusional and this is never going to happen, and this is like, you're not able to reach those high energies that you have been craving, and you're not able to reach with this person the depths that you know that can happen between the two of you. The Star, which is clarified by the Two of Cups in reverse, which again is the only card that had to come out in reverse in this pile, which again does make me feel like for a lot of you right now it's either not happening or it's just like in a very low frequency at this time, this connection for you. There's a little fly. This card is telling you don't lose hope. Like keep that hope, because you can feel like your brain will not be able to understand this star energy. Your brain will not be able to understand the star energy. It will give lots of meanings to this two of Cups in reverse, like of why it's not happening, why it shouldn't happen, why it can't happen. Of course, because it wants to keep you safe. And as I'm about, like as I said that about like your ego and your lower self and your anxieties and things like that, I felt really called to say like, no, we don't talk about that right now. Right now it's about these higher energies, because you have to focus on those. And again, it's not to gaslight yourself. It's not to gaslight yourself at all. But you have to keep that focus, keep that feeling of you know exactly what feeling I'm talking about, okay? You know exactly. I don't even have to describe it to you, but keep that light, keep your eye on that light. There's a lot about light in this pile. And don't be afraid to use your mind. I was about to say like, don't be afraid to speak out your truth with this Queen of Voices, Queen of Swords, and she's clarified by the Nine of Wands, which indicates to me that you might feel scared sometimes to speak up for yourself, to like say what it is that you want to this person specifically, which of course might just be like a reflection of just some type of wound or trigger or blockage that you have in life in general. But with this person specifically, you might feel very... This person might have fire placements. Doesn't have to be, but to me right now as I'm speaking this, you might see them in a very fiery way, perhaps. I mean, we do have quite some wands energy. Yeah. Don't be afraid to stand your ground. But what I feel called to say with this Queen of Swords and this Nine of Swords and the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords, make sure that you go within yourself and find that groundedness and that security, and like pull your energy into your center and find that confidence in what it is that you want to say. Like, be clear within yourself about what you want to say with this Ace of Wands as well. Be clear about what you want. Be clear about your expectations within yourself, and be clear about what it is that you want to say within yourself before you come to this person, so you can avoid it sort of like leaking out into like arguments and stupid discussions and low vibe communication that sort of like leads nowhere other than just like sort of like punching each other with words. Like, I feel like if you guys have been having a lot of like difficult communication with each other, not necessarily like arguments and discussions and things like that, but just like very difficult communication, you have the power and the ability to raise that frequency within these talks, these communication instances that happen between the two of you, by how you act and what you allow yourself to take, and what you just are like, no, I'm not going to take, I'm not going to give into this lower energy. Does that make sense? Also with this Page of Pentacles and the Five of Wands, this is essentially to tell you, like, stay curious about why these things happen, because possibly you have been going in patterns with this person as well. Definitely get clear on these patterns as well, and get clear on, like, again, this message about accountability. Take accountability for what your faults are and what your shortcomings are, I want to say, and what your role in this is. I'm getting like disconnect, or like detach to connect with this Lover's energy, like detach to connect. And this is essentially what is happening between the two of you. Like, you're being pushed away from each other energetically in some type, shape, way, or form, so that you can see why this is, so that you can individually and together work on connecting. Like, detach, unleash yourself from these ego games and ego plays that might be happening between the two of you. Which, again, it doesn't have to necessarily be like arguments and discussions. It could literally be like having walls up, not being willing to be vulnerable and open and talk from like a heart space with each other. This could look any type of way. Like, the ego is not only like violent and super like selfish and self-centered. The ego is also about protecting and about playing small and about keeping yourself in a lower vibration. And again, as I say these things, I keep having this feeling of like, don't talk about the ego, don't talk about these lower energies, because this is the whole, and it's not literally because you should not be talking about these things, but it's to convey the message of choose to focus your own energy and your own frequency, your own vibration into those light, higher frequencies that you want to go towards. Because if you keep choosing for low vibe things, then yeah, that's what you're going to get. Choose to bring yourself into these higher frequencies, higher energies. Your person will either get inspired or they will get triggered, and then it's up to them to like follow you or to keep playing their silly little games, if they are playing any. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for you guys. Let me take some advice. Now we're going to take, after this I want to take channel messages for some final words. And then lastly, we're going to take spirit animals. I love taking spirit animals at the end of readings. So what advice do you have for Pile 1's person's higher self, please? Advice for Pile 1, please, from your person's higher self. That is a lot. We're just gonna take them. I feel like we had to take this one as well. Okay, so this one is slow down to relax, break to enjoy the beauty around you. I feel like this is talking about like taking a break, but how I read it now is just like break down to be able to let the light in, like this whole energy that I've been talking about. Allow yourself to feel your emotions, allow your heart to crack open if it needs to, so that it can alchemize from the inside out and so that the light can get in. Gift of freedom. Break away from your attachments. It's very, yeah, your attachments to the ego, your attachments to your walls, to your need to be right, to your need to, for your person to understand perhaps you and believe you. I want to say for some of you, this will not resonate for everyone, but it's interesting how we have break and break. Like you guys might be on a break from each other right now at this time. Concealed power, give birth to the wonder of revelation. Exactly. This, again, this connection is just a reiteration of the fact that this connection, oh wow, this connection is, and every time I say this connection, I keep hearing disconnection. There is definitely some type of break or disconnection between the two of you. This doesn't mean that you have to be like on a literal break from each other. This could look like everything. This is just could be about like an energetic disconnection from each other. But yes, this is just a reiteration of the fact that all of this, no matter what the physical outcome is with the physical person in this physical connection in the 3D, this is meant to allow you to access this concealed power within you. Because if you would have not have been triggered and prodded and poked by the situation, you would never have even had the craving or the urge to break free from these bounds, I feel like. And then we have ending a trauma, transform memories and symptoms. Yeah, again, this is also obviously all about like triggers and inner child unhealed wounds. So okay, so I don't know if you guys saw that. I think it was, yeah, it was it. You can't see it, but I took this little deck and this one flipped over with trauma lens, like you probably are. I'm just gonna put it there because it clearly wanted to come out. You're looking at things through your trauma lens, which is not a fault of yours, but be aware that this is happening. There's definitely a lot about trauma here. And your higher self, again, I want to reiterate, like your higher self has you in such, or your person's higher self, I guess also your higher self, but both of your higher selves have you in such high regard, and they know you can get through this, and they are supporting you, and they know that you can get through it. Oh, look at how this card, it's also all about light and this spiral and light coming out, and it's also like, I feel like it's both coming in but also like coming out of this spiral. Anyways, let's see what final words your person's higher self has for you, some last things that they want you to be aware of or pay attention to. Now we're going to take spirit animals, and then I'm going to take it over to the extended to see all about your person's 3D self towards you at this time. Okay, so other messages for pile 1. Oh, look at this. Cycle. You're ending cycles. This ends with me. We also have time. Give this time. Give this time. I feel like these messages are very, very quick, so I'm not going to... Because again, I feel like the communication or like the energy that you feel like with this person and with this person's higher self is just so easy that I don't even need to go too much into it, because it's just so clear immediately, if that makes sense. Which again tells me that you guys have a very strong like soul connection, soul bond. Like you guys recognize each other at a okay, go back. You guys recognize each other's energy for sure. What other final words or messages or synchronicities do you have for pile 1, please? What other messages do you have for pile 1, please? 3 hours later. Okay, so we're gonna take these two. We have listen. Listen with your non-physical ears. Listen to the messages that the universe, like in the synchronicities, you might be experiencing a lot of synchronicities. Like it might be, could be definitely that you are experiencing, that you have been experiencing a lot of synchronicities with these symbols right here as well. Like the color orange, sacral chakra, the star, cacti perhaps, rainbows, fishes, fishes, lots of roses for sure. I'm being shown like a rose tattoo. Thorns, Mars and Venus, I'm getting now. Yeah, you might have been experiencing a lot of synchronicities about this connection. So definitely trust those. Don't doubt them. And I know it's easy to say like, oh, give me a sign, and then you get the sign and you're like, yeah, but what if I'm making it up? Like, what if this is not a sign and I'm just, what if I'm just being hyper aware about this sign that I was looking for, and now I'm just like making it up, and I'm not sure if it was a sign. Well, guess what, bitch, it is. Okay, if you ask for it and you see it and it's being delivered to you again and again and again and again, then it is a sign. this your person's higher self is telling you. Okay. And lastly, we have storm. I'm hearing like the eye of the storm, the center of the storm. Like, find that center, find that peace within you. No matter what happens, you can always go back to that, like to the eye of the storm. And now for spirit animals. The spirit animals for pile 1. And again, this person's higher self might speak to you through these animals, whether you see them in real life or in art or just in dreams or anything, just any type of symbology that you might see. The feelings that these animals convey to you. Yeah, so what spirit animals do you have for pile 1, please? For pile 1 with this connection, for pile 1, oh, look at this. Okay, so we have the bee with community. You are a powerful creator. Your work blesses everything you touch. Be open to receiving sweetness. You are the queen of abundance. Look at that. Sunflower, lots of flowers for sure. You have the polar bear with mystic. Know that challenges make you stronger. Have faith when you face adversity. Take time to rest, dream, and renew your strength. Embrace your psychic abilities. You carry the shaman within. This is exactly what I was talking about at the beginning. There's a lot of, I'm being called to mention solar plexus chakra and sacral chakra again. And there's also a lot of green, so heart chakra, Pleiadian energy being called to. Oh, I barely ever get this card. Lizard, regeneration. As a survivor, you are unparalleled. No matter what happens, you can adapt. Embrace your transformation. Put on your new cloak. You are a master of regeneration. I fucking love to see this. I'm going to take one more. We have the dog with friend. Today I will love without condition. My energy and enthusiasm are an inspiration. I choose to be happy. I'm a protector and a friend. This is more a message from your person's higher self to you. Like, they are close to you. They are there to serve you. They are protecting you in this connection, and it's almost like you are friends. Like, you are friends with this person's higher self, and not just with their human self. I felt called to take another one. Eagle with mastery. You are on a spiritual journey beyond the sky. Let go of the past and soar. You are guided by the winds of spirit. Your wisdom inspires the world. And with that one, pile 1, I'm going to leave your reading here, and I'm going to take this over to the extended, which I'm so excited, where we're going to look all about into your person's like 3D human self energy towards you, and their intentions and possible actions towards you, as well as channel messages from them to you. And yeah, definitely feel free to leave me a comment down below letting me know how this resonated, because as per usual, it just means so much to me to read how these resonate. And also feel free to leave a like and subscribe if you want, as that really helps me with the algorithm here on YouTube. And thank you so much for being here, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hi pile 2, if you chose this beautiful little citrine crystal right here, as well as the True Heart Intuitive Tarot, this is going to be a reading, and I am so freaking excited to get into this. The previous pile was pretty bomb. Just the whole energy of this whole topic just excites me so much, because it's such beautiful energy. What we're going to do here in this first part of the reading on YouTube is we are going to look into these pre-shuffled oracles that I have here for you, which are basically going to tell us a little bit of the energy in which your person's higher self is has currently about you and the messages that they want to deliver to you. So if you skip the intro by any chance, I would kindly suggest that you go back because I explain a little bit better about exactly what I personally mean with higher self. So that will be clear. And afterwards with the tarot, we are going to look into some more in-depth messages and things that your person's higher self wants you to know about this connection, and what they need you to be aware about this connection. And at the end of this reading, we're going to look into advice as well as channel messages and like last final words from your person's higher self to you, as well as spirit animals that might be relevant to you, your higher self, your person's higher self, or this connection with the messages that they come with. And then also for these readings, there's going to be an extended version that you can find a link to in the description box below, in which we are going to look all about your person's physical 3D's energy and thoughts and feelings about you at this time, as well as their intentions towards you at this time, and how they're going to act upon those intentions. Okay, so their possible actions towards you within the near future. At the time of you finding this video, these are timeless readings. So yeah, so without further ado, let's see what we have here for you regarding your person's higher self's energy towards you at this time. We have absence. This does not mean that they're absent. I'm going to explain everything in a minute. We have fluidity with outer core, with number 12 or 30. How do we do this? We have fall into my arms, surrender, holding the opposites, extremes of life. Then we have plant seeds of intention with 21, go, grow, glow. It's interesting that we have 12 and 21, so a beautiful palindrome. Anyway, that. Number 31 with magic, with the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move towards possibilities and expressions that are as grand, as profound as we can imagine. All that is required is our belief in the manifestation. And then we have 43 with transition. The frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. So first thing that I'm really quickly just immediately being called to notice is the fact that we have number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4. So the general energy that I'm getting from you, pile 1, or at least what your person's higher self really wants you to be aware of, is that you might be just starting out with your spiritual journey, just starting out with your manifestation journey, with your like getting in touch with higher realms and possibly like things like divination, and then getting in touch with your own higher self and your person's higher self. So this is very different energy than the previous pile, because I feel like I want to talk like just like very fast, which I mean, I'm half Italian, so that's just something that I often have, but this is just like the energy that I'm getting. It's just like super, let's do this. Which already tells me like your person's higher self is so freaking excited about you. And although I do feel like, I want to say like a billion things at the same time. Although I feel like you guys might be at this time not exactly where you would want it to be in terms of this connection. Definitely this might be, for a lot of you, this will be a no contact / separation situation. But again, it can still manifest physically in very different ways, but organization of thoughts, that's very hard when you're channeling, because just a lot of things are coming through. So your person's higher self wants you to be aware of the fact that they want you to be, and not that they think that you are like super cocky or whatnot, but they want you to be aware, they want you to step a little bit more into the energy of humbleness and humility, and not in the sense that they're like, you need to chill and like, you know, calm down bitch, because not at all, it's not a bad thing. It's more like they are inviting you to step into this almost childlike energy of like bringing your energy sort of like very much back down to earth, because you might be someone who's very much in their head all the time. Like you might have like you might have a Mercury moon perhaps, or like a mutable moon, air moon, something like that, or just like relevant placements in terms of what I just said, like air, Mercury, or mutable. Your person's higher self wants you to focus on things. Focus. I feel like say focus on the things that have been calling your attention. Things like higher realms and higher energies and higher frequencies. I feel like for some of you, you might not even know exactly what that means when you hear those words, but there is something that is like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense, but I'm not quite sure what that means exactly. And this person's higher self is really inviting you to dive deeper into those things. They're really inviting you to, I'm getting meditation, grounding practices, like guided meditations, if you feel like you cannot meditate by yourself because it's so hard to ground your scattered thoughts. But they really also aura cleansing, that was a weird way to say it, like aura cleansing, things like that. They really want you to be mindful of your energy and of energies in general, because I feel like you are someone who is very, very sensitive and very much receptive to outside energies, but sometimes you don't even recognize that those are outside energies that are influencing you because you are so unaware of your like boundaries, I want to say. It's like your aura field is sort of like so open and so scattered that every little energy thing input from the outside is just like landing inside of you, and you're picking up on that without even noticing, without even knowing and being aware of the fact that that's not your energy and that that's something that you were picking up on. And this person's higher self really, really wants you to be aware of that. And again, there's a lot about manifestation and intention, and I feel like this person's higher self feels like you are a little bit unclear and scattered and, again, like ungrounded. And this is not to come for your throat or to like come at you and be like, ha, bitch, you suck or something. Not at all. Because this person's higher self recognizes that there's so much potential within you that you have not even barely like scratched the surface of. There's this invitation from your person's higher self to, this person's higher self has a quite more feminine energy. This doesn't mean that your person has to have like a female body or whatnot. This is just like the energy that they have towards you at this time. They're really inviting you to tune in yourself and like the non-physical, because you might be someone who has been, for instance, like growing up in an environment which was always like perhaps a like highly religious and dogmatic type of environment, or like an environment with, I want to say, a lot of Capricorn energy, with like a lot of like cynical energy that is like very much dismissive of like spirituality and things like that, and like anything that you can't see that is not material is just like bullshit and it doesn't exist and things like that. Or this is something that you might have had strongly in the past. But you know that there's more. This is what your person's higher self is saying to you, like, you know that there's more. Let me fix the lighting real quick because we have this. I think that's better. Now we have, what is that? Okay, never mind. This person's higher self knows that you know better, and they probably know that you're not really. You probably feel like you don't know what you're doing, like you don't know where to go, you don't know where to look, you don't know what the fuck to believe or anything like that. And this is your call to like simplify and close your eyes and tune in with your own body. If you need a practical thing to start with, if you're like, yeah, but what do I do? How do I do that? It's taking it one step at the time. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, just like taking it one thing at the time. And if you like, I'm being called to mention things like body scanning with meditation. And again, if you don't feel like you can do that on your own, look up for guided meditations. Download an app for meditation or something like that, or like follow some like meditation, like yoga things on YouTube. Yoga things. Body scans, so like becoming aware of your body, using your senses and like feeling, how does my body feel at this time? Where do I have tension? Becoming aware of your thoughts and of the fact that you are not your thoughts, but your thoughts are always constantly changing and constantly fluctuating. Become aware of the fluidity of your own being. Become aware of, I want to say, like, connect with the elements, with water specifically. Like, take showers or baths in a very mindful way. Like, imagine or feel the water literally cleansing you. I'm hearing like believe in magic, and you might be like, yeah, but like I don't believe in fairies and things like that. Of course you don't have to believe in those things, but magic is more real and more realistic and more human and more grounded than we're led to believe by like the media and movies. And you know, when you use like a magic wand and like glitter comes out of it, that's not what magic is. Magic is being so freaking present that you can literally see through and feel through, feel the deeper essence of everything. You know, crystals, yeah, they're just pretty rocks if you want them to be, if you believe that, sure. Like, if you want to believe that, then you're absolutely free to do that. If you have been truly sitting with crystals and like plants and herbs and scents and just anything in life, really, not just crystals. This is just like a silly example. If you allow yourself to feel more into everything around you and into yourself, you will reach deeper levels of awareness. Doesn't it literally say, like, yeah, the frequency of transition supports our deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of existence and our lives, so that we can learn to let go, surrender to the process, and allow transition to occur with ease and grace. And again, this card read, the frequency of magic supports our intrinsic ability to grow and expand beyond this moment, to move toward possibilities and expressions that are grand and profound as we can imagine. All that is required in our belief in their manifestation. Yeah, again, like, magic is all about intention, like being so clear within your intention that you are tuned into that energy and directing that energy, directing your mental and emotional and heart energy into specific things that we want to feed more into. Your person's higher self wants you to become aware of how much power your thoughts hold. And I know this is not necessarily about the connection, but we will look into it like in a minute with the tarot. But your person's higher self has so much to say to you, and they really want you to get in touch with your own higher self, as well as get in touch with your person's, like, you might be someone who is like, oh, like your person's higher, your person that they're human, your human person might say things or display certain actions and words and things like that, but you might sort of like mildly pick upon the realer essence and energy of their actions and their words. So something is telling you, like, something is not matching up completely in what they say and what they do, because they're saying one thing and they do the other. What is the truth? Like, you might be a little confused and a little bit like, you might feel like your person is a little scattered, and you might just not know what to believe in terms of how your person acts towards you. Your person's higher self is saying, like, you know, and it's not a brain rational knowing. You know, or you are able to discern between the surface display of energy, the surface like decisions that your person makes in terms of actions and words, and their truer, deeper core essence. Because that never changes. Like, of course it can change over time through transition and through transformation and things like that. If your person says one thing one day and another thing the other, and if they say one thing and they do completely the opposite, like, of course that's the energies that they display, like the surface things that are going on. Your person's higher self really wants you to dig into and dive deeper into, like, the core essence of things, like that, drop down into the non-physical. There's really this urge for you to dive, like, to jump into like, look at this, like, this is like a cave, and it looks like there's this opening here, and they want you to sort of like allow yourself to drop through that and fall within this cave and see that the surface level is not all that there is, because you are supported. Like, look at this. Like, you might not notice it immediately, but there are like two figures up here, and all these spirits, I want to say, right here, and all these spirits diving deep into here, and there's these, like, I want to say, like, human figure, is it one? It's like a human figure holding someone else, like a less human, more spiritual figure here. There's so much going on in this card, and this is literally what you're, like, I feel like maybe tuning into things like art and like spiritual art and things like that, just looking into that and tuning into things like images will be very helpful for you if you need something tangible. You might have strong earth energy, doesn't necessarily have to be, or you might have like a lack of water energy perhaps. Yeah, I'm getting a slightly more masculine energy from you. And again, this doesn't mean that you are a man and that your person is a woman. Like, not at all. This does not have anything to do with gender or gender expression or sex or sexuality or whatever like that. Oh, wow. Your person's higher self really wants you to get in touch with them and with yourself, and you're with your own higher self. and they want you to feel into the deeper layers and deeper things and deeper happenings of everything that is happening and not happening on the surface level. Yeah, again, with fluidity and outer core, like your and your person's outer core surface level actions and words, they can change, they're fluid, they change all the freaking time. But your inner core, that is hidden. That is the truth. Like the way in which it manifests can change a lot of the time. Like we do have agency and free will about what we decide to say and what we decide to do. We can steer our words and our actions, but we cannot really steer our own core energy. That is something that is so much more real, and yeah, or like they want you to get in touch with your soul, essentially. Does that make sense? Okay, pile 2, I feel like this is all that we have for you right now. Let's look into what your person's higher self wants you to be aware of or to know about this connection at this time. Really curious to see what is going to come through here, because this is very interesting. These decks are always thoroughly shuffled beforehand. I also want to remind you that if you are resonating with this reading and if you want to know a little bit more about your person, like their human 3D self, then you can feel free to check out the extended version, which is also going to be linked in the description box and the pinned comment. And we're going to look into their current energy towards you, and as well as their intentions, so like what they want to happen, what they want to do with you, and as well how they are planning to act upon those intentions, and potentially their next moves towards you, depending on what comes out. Okay, so what pile 2's person's higher self, what do you want? That's like a mouthful. What do you want pile 2 to be aware of about this connection, please? Okay, so we have the Princess or Page of Cups. Yeah, follow your intuition. You're likely a little bit new to intuition. Like you feel like a little bit of a noob to these whole, like, probably like things like soul connections. Like you might have a very strong soul connection with this person. You likely do. Otherwise, your person's higher self would not have messages for you. But you're not quite in touch with those things. Like it's a very new thing. Like you likely have not had. You might be just new to like the whole, soulmate and twin flame and karmic relationship type of thing. You might not be entirely quite sure of what that means yet. And this might also be the reason why you feel so called to look into these type of readings and just readings in general about them. So you are aware that there's more to the surface and to the human level of things, but there's this feeling of not being completely in tune and in touch with it yet. And this is definitely inviting you to pay more attention, to get more in touch with that. And that's a process, not something that you can literally do something and just like make it happen like that. It's a process. And you're definitely like what these, like, again, with the number like 1, 2, 3, 4 showing up, this is definitely something that you have embarked on. Okay, so like it's not that you can get off anytime soon. Like it will happen in divine timing as you need to. Okay, things will come to you as they need to. We have the 10 of Pentacles, and we have the 7 of Cups in reverse. Okay, we also have the 3 of Cups, and we also have the 10 of Cups in reverse. Okay, this is very interesting. So what else do you want pile 2 to know about this connection at this time? Oh, that is way too many. Let's gonna put them back. And something fell. Okay, pile 2's person's higher self. Messages from pile 2's person's higher self to pile 2 about this connection, please. So we have the Moon in reverse. Pile 2's person's higher self, what messages do you have? We have the Fool to clarify the 10 of Pentacles. Oh wow. We have the Queen of Swords to clarify the Seven of Cups in reverse. Oh, 4 cards that will turn around. I'm going to put them back. What about this Three of Cups? What is it that pile 2 needs to know from a higher perspective about this connection, please? From pile 2's person's higher self. Messages from person 2's pile 2's person's higher self. That's an awful. 8 of Wands. Yeah, I saw that while shuffling. I thought it was relevant, and I was like, if it needs to come out, it will, and it did. What about this 10 of Cups in reverse? We have the Queen of Cups to clarify the 10 of Cups, and on the bottom of the deck, we have the Tower. What's below that? The Page of Swords. Okay, so I feel like you might not trust your person at this time, because again, there's this discrepancy between how you feel, the things that you feel, like the things that you faintly kind of feel with this person and about this person, and the way that they act, the things that they say. I feel like for some of you with this Three of Cups, there's definitely some indication to you that this person, or you, but I want to say this person, that they might be involved with other people, that they might have like player energy, or that they might have someone else, or that they might, you know, things of that sort, which causes you to really mistrust and to be like, yeah, this is all bullcrap, and I shouldn't be wasting time with this, and just being you. And at the other side, you do have this desire of like, why can't we just get together? Why can't we just be happy together? This person's higher self is telling you, follow your intuition. And your intuition, you have to learn to discern between your anxiety and your intuition, between fear and your ego-based thoughts, and again, yeah, anxieties and things like that, and your intuition. Your intuition is very subtle, never changing. It's very subtle, fixed, and it whispers. It's a constant like hum in the back of your being. Your anxiety screams at you. It's very, very chaotic, very unsure. It's very like, oh my god, and this is gonna happen, and it's so very convinced and like in an egoic type of way. It doesn't come from an empowered, peaceful, calm type of place. Okay. Daffodils. I'm getting Another Love by Tom Odell. I just saw daffodils. Also mushrooms might be relevant to you guys. Some of you might be studying psychology, and might put a lot of value on like the brain and the thoughts and rationality and how the brain works, and you know, psychology and things like that. But you're being invited to step beyond that for sure, to embody this Queen of Cups energy. To embody this Queen of Cups energy. Like, I feel the need to keep things very grounded, never, like, even though we are talking from your person's higher self's perspective at this moment, there's definitely this need of, like, simplifying things. I feel like I say that a lot, but again, if people look a lot into, like, tarot readings and things like that, they just might be very unsure about things, and just, like, oh my god, like, we like overthinking and over-explaining things and things like that, but this is really a call to, like, simplify these things and get clear on... I'm getting, like, meditation and sitting with yourself and distinguishing, like, working really on becoming aware of your body and your thoughts, really becoming aware of the way that you think about this person and the way that you feel about this person. And some things might just, there's this feeling of like nothing really matches up. Like, I don't know what to believe, because I feel one thing one second and one other thing the other second. So like, which direction should I go? I truly care about this person, but at the same time, I don't know if they care about me. So why should I care? They have, I don't know if I can trust them, because I don't know what they're doing behind closed doors with other people. And I don't know if they're being a player or not, because they say that they're not doing that, and they say that I'm special and things like that. But I'm really not sure about what to believe. And your person's higher self is really telling you, like, you definitely cannot keep holding this energy, this super uncertain, scattered, like, oh my god, what is true, what is not. Like, this is not serving you at this time. You have to get in tune with your own intuition. It's interesting because we have the Page of Cups, which is like the the most young, naive version, or like energy of the cups, the water, intuition, emotional, fluidity. There's a lot about fluidity for sure, and water and feminine energy. There's a lot, like, look at these, like, this is all cups, like, even with this swords, there's a lot of like wave like imagery. Yeah, the first one in this spread is like the Page of Cups, which is the most naive and inexperienced and innocent energy of the Cups court cards. And then at the end we have the Queen of Cups. Like, this is a journey that you're on. You're journeying from being this Page of Cups, so be like, intuition, what is it? What is intuition? Where is it? Is it something that you can eat? Like, how do I get one? You know, things like that. Like, do I even have one? Towards this Queen of Cups energy, she's like, the Page of Cups is looking at this cup, which is like intuition and emotion, this water energy, is like, what is this? Like, how do I approach this? What is, like, so intriguing, so curious about what it is? Like, is it something that is on the outside of me? And this queen, she's like, I decorated my own intuition cup. I'm holding it with all my power and all my might. I know exactly what this says. I know exactly where it is. I know exactly where it goes. She trusts fully in her intuition. And this is the journey that you're being invited to embark on. And with this Queen of Swords clarifying the Seven of Cups in reverse, again, like, this is very much the idea of, like, there's so many options, so many energies that I don't know what to believe. I don't know where to go. I don't have no idea of what is happening inside of me and within this connection at any time, essentially. This is telling you to, like, get a grip on your thoughts, and not in the sense of, like, control your thoughts and control your mind, because you cannot do that. But steer, use your mind. Don't let it use you. Use your mind and use your rationality to get clear on what it is that you're feeling. Okay, get clear on what it is that you're feeling, because I definitely, like, your person's higher self really feels like you're out of touch with your inner core true feeling, and sometimes you might be a little resentful or a little skeptical or a little distrustful towards your person, but that's not the core of what you're truly feeling. I feel like that's something that is coming through for you. Like, start from zero again. Go back to like, start from scratch again. Be more open-minded towards receiving the energy of this person for what it truly is, not for what they say, not for what they do, not for what they promise, not for what they, you know, just for what you truly feel that they are. And trust your intuition first and foremost. Because if you trust your intuition, if you really tune into that energy, you will be able to receive, like, downloads about this person, about this connection, way more easily than you give yourself credit for. But okay, let's take some advice for you right now, because that's all that I'm getting from your person's higher self towards you. Let's take some advice. Then we're taking channel messages for some extra insight from your person's higher self towards you at this time on this connection. And then we're going to take some spirit animals, and then after that we're going to take it over to the extended to look into your actual person's 3D human energy currently towards you, and their possible intentions and actions towards you next. So this is the Sufi Wisdom Oracle deck. That's way too many. All my decks are linked down below in the description box, so if you are interested in any of these decks, then definitely go look that up. Okay, so this card flipped over, but it kind of didn't slide, but it felt relevant. Return to joy. We are here to experience joy. Yeah, let yourself be guided by joy. Go back to, like, your own bliss. Find your own bliss and your own pleasure. Don't let yourself be swept away by I want to say, like, low vibe and negative emotions, such as, like, resentment and distrust, and sort of, like, being cynical and almost being, like, kind of scornful, distrustful energy. Like, that is not serving you. That's not benefited anyone. That's definitely not the direction that you're supposed to go towards. The direction towards you're supposed to go is joy and your pleasure and your emotions and your intuition. That's why your person's higher self really is telling you with these cards. Celebrate life. Make your life a celebration. Yeah, just enjoy yourself and create that positivity that you're longing for. I want to say, like, create it for yourself. If you can't find it, then go look for it, like, elsewhere. You might have been looking for these things outside of yourself, like answers and and joy and love and pleasure and things like that on the outside of yourself from this person, or from just like tarot readings and things like that, just like on the outside of yourself. Maybe like substances, things like that, coping mechanisms or whatever. This is really redirecting you within yourself. Like, turn inwards, find that inner core of yours. Speak out, communicate, and solve the conflicts. This is definitely a call for you to, indeed, if you feel called to reach out to this person, but only if you feel ready and if you know exactly what you want to say, what you want to tell them, what you want to achieve. So this card also came out, face your fears, farewell to the phantoms. Look at how beautiful these colors are. I love it. Love the color palette. Yeah, again, face your fears, turn inwards. Like, you might want to look into things like shadow work, because I definitely do feel like you have this more page type of energy, that you are a little bit new perhaps about these things. Definitely like look into guidance. And I feel like tarot can do that to an extent for you, because you need a little bit more of a like direct, almost practical way to get started. So things like, again, like guided meditations, guided shadow work prompts, like journaling, things like that. Someone who can help you, lead you into this path, because I feel like you want to go forward, but you're not entirely sure of where to start. So definitely allow yourself to be helped along the journey. I feel called to mention my shadow work reading that I did a couple of months ago. It's just on my channel, so you can type in like shadow work and you will find it. I'm strongly feeling called to like redirect you to that video. So for those of you who feel called to that video, that definitely check that out. I will try and remember to perhaps like put it in the cards, but don't take my word on that, because I will likely not know where, like, I would probably forget, but yeah. Okay, so pile 2's person's higher self. What messages do you have for pile 2 at this time? What do they need to be aware of? Some tips and tricks, perhaps. Divine masculine. Look into the energy of divine masculine, divine feminine, because I feel like you are in this type of masculine energy, but you're not necessarily in touch with your divine masculine, divine feminine energies yet at this point. Why? Be inquisitive. Be inquisitive about why things happen, about why you have certain thoughts. This is really calling you to like dive into inner child work and shadow work if you haven't been doing that already. What else do you have? Some direction for pile 2, please. Make a wish. This is so much about like intention and manifestation, and being clear of on what you want and going towards that. Being clear on what you want instead of like having this clear intention in mind and work to go towards that, to bring your energy towards that. There's definitely a lot about like intention and being intentional and being aware and conscious and mindful about the things. Look up, exactly. Look down and like dig deep, but also look into like, look for these higher energies. Like, they are all around you. You can feel into them at any point. Like, again, it might sound very abstract to you at this time, but this is really calling you to look into those things. And again, with like guided meditations, perhaps I feel called, like I keep feeling called to mention guided meditations and things like that, because it's something concrete that you can use and follow until the moment that you feel called to, you know, do it yourself and find your own path in those things. What else? What else do we have for pile 2 at this time, please? What else do you have for pile 2 at this time, please? I'm being called to mention birds. Perhaps we will see some birds, spirit animals, and you might have strong air. You might have strong air with lack of water, perhaps. Ah, that is way too much. Yeah. Oh my God. When I was shuffling your oracles, like when I was pre-shuffling your oracles, they would just. It was crazy with how much vehemence and with how much like enthusiasm they would come out. And again, like the energy that I was feeling and describing it, the energy was just like this, just like go 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 go. So interesting. Okay, a couple more messages. I feel like I don't want to take too many. Perhaps just one more again, because we have this message of keeping things simple and not being too much scattered and all over the place. One more message for Pile 2, please. That might serve them on their journey at this time. Pile 2's person's higher self. What do you have for Pile 2 at this time? Okay, so we have the card of projection. If you're not familiar what this means at all, then definitely look into this. It's definitely like you might be familiar with this already since you are into some of you are likely into things like psychology and understanding things. Understanding things. Wow, very eloquent of me, aren't I? Wait, no, we took these already. Now it's time for spirit animals. But yeah, definitely look into just if there have been things like little words or concepts that have been calling your attention, then just Google them. Look into like YouTube videos about those things, because there might be a lot of like information and synchronicities for you. Like, again, if you don't know what synchronicities are, then Google that, look that up, because again, it's all things that might just redirect you exactly where you need to be going at this time. Okay. So Pile 2's person's higher self. What spirit animals are relevant to Pile 2? Pile 2's person, this connection at this time. And I would say, like, if these animals that are going to come out resonate with you, definitely do pay attention to their spiritual meaning. You can like look their meaning up more in concrete on Google or something like that. Yeah, if you feel called, let your intuition tell you which animals are relevant for you and which ones you feel called to and all that. So which spirit animals are relevant to Pile 2 and Pile 2's person and this connection at this time? We have the cat with independent. You are a natural healer. Your intuition is strong. You don't have to go with the crowd. Life supports you in every way. What else do we have here for Pile 2? Other spirit animals that are relevant to Pile 2. Oh, this one round, but I'm just going to put it back. What else do we have for Pile 2 at this time? Spirit animals that have messages for Pile 2 at this time. Is this taking a while? I think a year is later. Okay, come on. Spirit animals that are synchronistic or relevant to... Okay, so we got two. Two. Muse, wisdom. Let your head and mind reach to the stars, yet keep your feet grounded on the earth. Listen to the ancient wisdom in your soul. The ancestors speak through you. You know much. This card, I was called to mention, like, these are likely representative of ancestors' energy. I'm personally not super familiar into that. I'm not connecting with, like, ancestors' energy or anything like that. But this is definitely, with this Muse card coming out, I'm getting the film, oh god, what is it, like Coda Bear Brother, something like that. In Italian it's called like Coda Fratello Orso, which literally translates into Coda Brother Bear. It's a cartoon. I don't know if you're familiar with that, if it tells you anything like that, but I'm being called to, like, I'm being shown that movie right now with this Muse wisdom card. But definitely I feel like spirit animals and totem animals might be super relevant for you. So like if you have been seeing some type of animals that like recurrently, like if you've been seeing a specific type of bird recurrently, or like if something is like calling your intuition, if you have this like unexplainable love for a certain animal, then definitely look into it. Like, for instance, for me personally, I feel called to give a personal example. I've always felt so called and so much love towards elephants, and I was like, I don't know why. I've never seen a real elephant in my entire life. Probably I've seen them in, like, when I was a child in zoos and safaris. Like, I'm not supporting right now, like in my adult life. I'm definitely not supportive of keeping animals in captivity for the purpose of entertainment. Not at all. But that's besides the point. I felt the need to give that disclaimer. But I felt so mesmerized and so in love with elephants. And I didn't know why. I was like, why? Like, I was trying to rationalize from a rational point of view of, like, why do I feel so called to elephants. Like, this doesn't make any sense. I don't have a personal connection with them, and it didn't have to be rationally relevant. I just had this deep connection with elephants, and by looking into their meaning, into their energy, just tuning into the essence of elephants, it all made a lot more sense to me. So definitely, if there's this specific animal, like it could literally be cats, it could literally be mooses, it could be an animal that you have tattooed for some reason. For some of you, things don't have to have a rational, practical meaning. Okay, like even with things like tattoos, like if you have tattoos that you just like, that you just felt called to do that, but other people might be like, oh, but it has to have a meaning, or things like that. It doesn't have to be. If you fucking like it, you fucking like it. You don't have to explain those things in rational terms. Pile 2. As I said, with a lot of love. Yeah, ancestors, animal totems. Definitely, if you have been feeling called to a certain animal, look into that. And it doesn't have to make sense rationally. If it calls you on a hard level, on a spiritual level, on an emotional level, then that's all you need to know about it. Next, we have deer with love. Be gentle with yourself. Pile 2, please be gentle with yourself. You heal with the power of love. See the light in all things. Acknowledge your self-worth and grace. I love this. I love the energy of deers. What else? Now we have a lot of earth animals so far. So earth energy, fixed energy could be relevant for you. We have the raccoon, more earth energy with inventor. Decide on what you really want. Yeah, this need for clarity about what you want, and redirecting your intention on specific things. You have the ingenuity, like being ingenious, I don't know how you pronounce that, to claim it. Avoid being the trickster and practice integrity. You have many roles and you can juggle them well. Yeah, this is this magician energy of like, you have so many options, but you have to get clear on what you want to use at which time. And don't let those like outside influences and these many different influences and these thoughts and strange ideas and energies influence you to the point in which you're like compromising your own integrity and your own core energy. Get in touch with that inner core again. This image of getting in touch with your inner core. I feel like I want to take one more, although I'm doubting, because you know what? No, because I feel like 4 is very relevant for you at this time, and we had a lot of earth animals, and I was almost doubting, like, should I take one more? Although I didn't feel like I felt very satisfied with this 4. Earth energy, stability, and getting clear on these energies. So I'm just going to honor that. I'm going to put this back, and I'm going to leave this part of the reading here, pile 2. Thank you so much for letting me read your cards. It was an honor and a pleasure to do so for you. If you feel, if this felt resonant to you, and if you are curious about the extent and about the energies that of your person, then definitely feel free to check that out in in the description down below. There will be a link directly to that, and it's definitely not compulsory, but there will be a lot more about messages from your person at this time towards you. And if not, totally fine. If you're leaving me here, still 100% love you. Thank you so much for being here, and definitely feel free to leave a comment down below letting me know how this resonated, as it means everything to me to know how my readings land on the other side of the screen. Also, feel free to leave a like and subscribe. That really helps a ya girl out with the algorithm here on YouTube. And thank you so much for being here, and I will see you either in the extended or in the next one. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Hi, pile 3. If you chose this beautiful Celestite cluster crystal, which is always a pleasure to say, and the White Sage Tarot, you chose the prettiest lighting pile, apparently, because we have... it's evening, so the sun is doing pretty things. So in today's reading, what we're going to do is a bunch of things. So first we're going to look into your person's higher self energy towards you and the messages that they have for you. With these pre-shuffled oracles, we're going to look into essentially what they want you to know, what they want you to be aware of, any type of messages that they have for you at this time. And then we are going to move on to the tarot, in which we will look essentially what your person's higher self has in terms of messages and advice, and just what they believe that you have to know about this connection in specific. And then afterwards, we're going to take some advice as well as some extra channeled messages from your person's higher self, as well as spirit animals that might be relevant with messages that they have Oh, why do I have this? Oh, okay, calm down. It's very strange because I felt very calm, very, very soothed, very much in touch with the energy of this beautiful Celestite. But at the same time, I was like, so that's interesting. Perhaps that has something to do with the reading. Yeah, we're going to do that, and then there's going to be a extended. This is the first time that I'm trying to do, that I'm going to offer extended readings, and I hope I can manage with the uploading thingy because I haven't done that before. So who knows? It's an adventure. We will see. But yeah, the extended is going to be linked down below, and it's going to be all about your person's 3D human self energy, their energy towards you at this time, at the time of you finding this reading, as well as their current intentions, as well as how are they going to act upon those intentions. And then at the end of the extended reading, we are going to look into channel messages from your person to you at this time. Okay, so the energies have been so freaking beautiful and empowering and amazing and mesmerizing and just so high vibe so far. So I'm really, really excited to get into this for you. And yeah, as per usual, use your own discernment. Apply the messages as they apply to your situation specifically. These are general collective messages. So yeah, you will know which messages are for you and which ones aren't, as per usual. So without further ado, let's see what do we have here for you. We have Earth pulsing with Pulse of the Mother, Slow Down, Time in Nature. Such a beautiful card. Then we have number 40 with Atoms and Building. Next we have number 38 or 11 or 12, if you will, in numerology with Remembrance. The frequency of remembrance supports our memory of everything that we have gone through as a soul and body, providing us with valuable information and tools to flow gracefully with and in this life. We love to hear that. And then number 2 with The Quest, Plunge Boldly into Life. And last but not least, we have Context. Am I missing cards? Let me check real quick. This check, this check, this check. Oh no, I just had extra cards for the other piles. Oh, that is interesting. Okay, so you're pile 1. Pile 3. Wow. Pile 3. I feel like there's a bunch of different things that your person's higher self has to say to you at this time, but they're pretty straightforward, I want to say. So like, I don't know how long this first part of your reading will be. There is a chance that it will be quite short. Did I say shirt? Quite short. First of all, I'm being called to notice the color green and the oranges in this pile. So the heart chakra and the sacral chakra might be very relevant for you, and also dragonflies might be relevant for you. There's also a ton of pink. There's definitely a lot of like bright, beautiful colors. Like I'm sort of like being mesmerized by how much beautiful how much beautiful colors, how many beautiful colors are present in this spread. Wow. So the first thing that comes to mind is this connection might be taking a while to ground. It might be taking a while to get physically connected with each other, and I don't mean like in a sexual way or whatever, but just to get physically connected in the 3D with each other. This might be about someone that you don't see that often, that you are very much that you're long distance with. I feel like for a lot of you, you will not live too close to this person, and there might always be something or some type of energy that prevents you guys from like connecting in the 3D often. For some of you, you might not have even met this person yet. You might have met them on the internet, and you were sort of like waiting for the right opportunity to meet them. But there's definitely something about this connection being very slowly progressing. Like it might almost feel like, it doesn't necessarily feel like nothing at all is happening, because for what I'm feeling, like not much might be happening in the 3D, like on the physical, but there's a lot of building being done in the 5D. Like there's a lot of active energy in the non-3D, in the non-physical, if that makes sense. Like you will know what I mean with that if this resonates. There's a lot of things going on in the background, like within your emotions. Like you're probably having a lot of like downloads and a lot of like growth and upgrades, I want to say, within you, and this person is likely doing the same. But what this your person's higher self wants you to know as the first thing is to be patient, because they are aware that it's taking a long time, that it's being quite slowly to develop, and there's a very specific reason for that, because things are being unfolded. Like, if it's not happening right now, it just means that it's not meant to be happening right now, and I'm being called to like explain that in a very simple way, because there's not much else. Like, you might have gone crazy like watching a ton of readings about like, why is this connection not happening, and like, what are the feelings, like, oh my god, what is going on. This person's higher self, first of all, they love you so much. This person's higher self has so much love for you, and they want you to find some peace within your own heart and within your own mind about this connection, because I want to say it will happen when it needs to happen, and right now is not the time for it to happen, and there's a reason why it's not happening right now, and this is all that you need to know at this time. So like, if you have been looking into like psychic readings, tarot readings, probably also like personal readings, and you've always been getting the same information over and over again, just like with slightly different wordings perhaps, this is just to say that you're not getting more information because there is no more information. Like, things are being built. You know essentially already everything that you need to know about this person's feelings towards you and their energy towards you and about the situation, and there's not much else that you need to know at this time. Sometimes information, like, you have probably very easily access to downloads and information from higher realms and things like that, and sometimes you just don't get more information because you're not supposed to get more information. You're supposed to be doing with what it is that you have. With this context card and the remembrance card, this is really like, your person's higher self is really, think of a very peaceful, very, very expansive. I'm getting Jupiter energy from this person's higher self, like very peaceful, expansive, so peaceful, like that's the word that comes to mind, type of energy. This is a very wide this is a very wide soul. This is a very wise soul that we're talking about. And I don't know how their 3D human self is like. I guess we will see in the extended. But definitely their higher self is such, like, they know what they're doing, and they do things with the highest good of everyone involved in mind, like in the, the figurative mind of higher self, because you can debate on, does a higher self have a mind, like, but that's not what we're here to talk about. Cherries might be significant for some of you, for some reason, being called to notice cherries. Cherry by Harry Styles, the song. Cherry liquor, cherry flavored liquor, or like those like cherry chocolates with like liquor in it, whatever. I don't know, take that if it resonates. Of course it's not going to resonate for everyone, but let's see. Some of you might be doing scrying in water and like getting downloads from water and things like that. And if you're not, you're probably being called to connect more with nature, with like flowing bodies of water. So like not stagnant bodies of water, like not closed off like ponds and things like that, but like rivers and very big like lakes and waterfalls. There's a waterfall here. You might have had a lot of downloads from this person if you are into those things during entheogenic trips, entheogenic experiences. I feel like I want to say things, but I feel like I'm just like chilling here, and I'm just chilling. I'm just noticing little things, and I'm I just really want to take it slow, and I feel like that's the whole freaking energy that, first of all, your higher self, your person's higher self is in, and that they want you to understand as well. They want you to embody this energy of like, I trust the bigger picture. That's something that I wanted to say since the beginning, but indeed, like, as I said, like, I keep sort of like dragging myself to say other things. This person's higher self, they want you to be aware of the bigger picture. Like, you have had probably a lot of like little nudges and little tidbits of information and of synchronicities of like numbers, of just very subtle information from the universe that is saying like, yes, this is happening, yes, it's not all in your head, yes, it's real, yes, you're feeling the things as they truly are. And yes, you know what is going on here. Just breathe, like be patient, because things are being unfolded and the situation is not happening with this person right now as you need it to, because it's just not meant to. Because there's probably things that they have to resolve first before they're ready to come towards you. Probably there's also things that you have to resolve and learn and unfold before you're ready. It's like you are like on a 5D soul level. You guys are already like vibing on the same wavelength, although I do feel like there's a lot of, between the two of you, a lot of like polarity, like divine masculine, divine feminine. Although I'm getting from this person's higher self, they are pretty much 50-50. Like they are pretty much in balance with their masculine and their feminine, if that makes sense. But on the 3D, you guys are very much on different pages, and that's just like a fact that this person's higher self needs you to face. You guys are currently on different pages, and this is it for now. This is all that you need to know. This does not, absolutely not, mean that you guys are always going to be on different pages, because that's absolutely not the truth. And I know that you feel like that possibly. Sometimes you might be doubting yourself, you might be doubting your information, you might be doubting your intuition, and you might be doubting the information that you get. You might be like, oh my god, am I going crazy? Am I being delusional? You're not. You're not, okay? You're not. Let me repeat that. You're not delusional. Like, you know exactly what's going on. If you silence your mind, if you silence all the outside noise, you know exactly what is going on. And your person's higher self needs you to be aware of the bigger picture, and just like be aware of, not get too lost in the little details, because you might be like overthinking little things that they said, little nudges of information that you receive, like little details from readings. Perhaps you might be like, okay, but what does that mean? How does that play a role in this thing? No, just be aware of the bigger picture and trust that things are being built on a very minutious level, I want to say, and on a very minutious level, probably on this person's end also, in ways in which you are not even aware of. And once you guys do come together, you're gonna be, I feel like you might also not be super trustful in this person's abilities to get themselves out of whatever it is that they're stuck within right now, because I do feel like perhaps you feel like your person is a little stagnant and a little apathic towards you at this time. And things are very much happening on a very deep, very deep level within them as well. And I know that you have had a lot of transformation within yourself as well, and this person too, in their own unique ways. And you guys, that's the whole freaking point. You guys have to go through these things on your own first, because these are like, there are different levels of healing. You can do there's some things that you have to heal within yourself, like that you have to be kind of like triggered from the outside, and you have to like resolve within yourself. Like, yes, you can reach out for help, but there's some dynamics that are meant to, like be triggering something in you that you have to like either heal within yourself, or like go find healing, or like go find some type of facilitator or whatever, like but then you have to do that in separation from this person, like do that healing without this person. And there's like the next level in which you can heal together, like uniting your energies and fusing your energies in that sense, and then heal together. Right now you guys are both at the stage in which you have to find that healing on your own. And this, again, it doesn't have to mean that you have to do it completely on your own. Like, of course, if you feel called to like go to readers or have like Reiki sessions or whatever it is, like healing sessions or whatever, therapists, like regression therapy, anything, like, of course you're very much allowed and encouraged to seek out help if that's what you feel called to do. But there are certain things that you cannot, that like to have to be triggered by someone, and that you have to look into on your own, like without this person. Does that make sense? And this person likewise has to do the same, essentially. I keep being called to this dragonfly, which is all about transmuting light, and about clarity, and about transformation, about change. And there's a lot of change happening, like in the background, if you will. There might be not much happening currently in the 3D in your connection. Like, you might have a hard time communicating with this person. You might not see them that often. You might feel like there's a blockage, and you guys are not sort of like progressing as you wish you would. And you're really being asked by this person's higher self in a very peaceful and loving, such a beautiful way, to trust this, to trust your intuition, to trust the process, trust the process that you're in. You are very much in a process right now, and they need you to go through it so that you can reach that point. Of course, it's never going to be like, oh, today I'm ready to connect to this person. Like, if I do this thing, and if I move on to this, if I move on from this specific obstacle, like, it doesn't work like that. But this person's higher self is asking you to be aware of the process in which you are in right now, and not be worried nor distrustful about the process that this person is in, because they're very much supported as well. They're very much supported as well, as much as you are supported. And you have to take care of yourself right now and of your process, and you have to take accountability for your process at this time, and this person has to do the same. I know that probably you have this desire of coming together and healing together, but this is not the time to do that. And this very mechanism, this very energy that you're feeling is also serving you to become more aware. Like, awareness. This person's higher self is really inviting you into awareness. Just like pure awareness and accepting things as they are. They're not bad, they're not good, they just are. Everything just is. And you will find so much peace within this knowing. And this person's higher self knows this. Like, they have such a peaceful, harmonious, beautiful, balanced, I want to say, energy. And also they're inviting you to breathe, to connect to the energy of the sun, to connect to the energy of the earth specifically, and also water. Breathe, sun, earth, water. I didn't even notice that I literally mentioned like 4 elements. Connect with the elements. Like, you might be in a time period in which you feel equally connected to all 4 elements and not necessarily one specific, because sometimes people might have phases in their life in which they're more connecting to just like consciously or subconsciously. It doesn't have to be a little thing in which you're like, oh, I am right now connected to the energy of water, or learning more about the energy of earth. But they are certainly like themes throughout people's lives in which they are more being connected to the archetypes of the elements, like indeed like fire, earth, air, and water. Let me see if I can get anything else, or if we have to move on to the tarot. This person's higher self also wants you to... I feel like for a lot of you, you might have a lot of insecurities. Like, you might desire this connection so much, but at the same time, you yourself, you have some resistance. And not in the sense of like that you don't want it to happen, because at your core you truly do want it to happen, but at the same time there are some mechanisms that are at place within you that sort of like resist this connection within, like, from coming together. And that's exactly what the energy on the outside of you, so like the impossibility, the seemingly impossibility of this connection to happen, is being reflected on the outside of you, because that's essentially what is happening within you. Like, you are somehow insecure or scared or terrified or anxious about this connection even happening. And there is some type of security or pleasure that you're getting from this connection not happening, and sort of like longing for it. Because you might also indeed like being like things like anxiety and like separation anxiety, or just like the fear of failing at a relationship or something, like the fear of not being liked, not being accepted, perhaps even of your body not being liked or accepted, of your sensuality and sexuality being scorned or being made use of, or something like that. You might have these fears that are being triggered right now within you, and you're really being called to heal and look at and embrace these things within yourself, so that you can resolve this resistance within yourself, so that once you are ready to sort of like completely be open to this person, that you will be in the right energy to literally be so open to them that it will be just so effortless and so in place and so divinely guided. Because right now you might fear committing to this person, because, you know, what if, and who knows what happens afterwards, and who knows if it goes all to shit, and if they get tired or bored of me, and if they have like, what if they have like a completely different vision of who I am, and they get like disappointed, what if they feel annoyed by me or something like that. You are called to resolve these conflicts within yourself and like unravel these conflicts within yourself so that you can be completely open to this person and being like a full yes once this is like ready to happen. Because we have like the quest, plunge boldly into life with this beautiful like female figure, sort of like, I don't know how to describe this image. You're gonna have to like look into it and feel into it. This is such ethereal. It's very beautiful. It's definitely very beautiful. And beautiful things are coming for you. I fucking promise. Like, they are, beautiful things are so being woven for you at this time. And you might not see them right now through your anxieties and through your fears, but you're being definitely very, very kindly and gently encouraged to keep doing the work that you have been doing and keep looking into yourself and keep loving on yourself, I want to say. Because you are creating also in that sense the divine timing. Like, divine timing is also not like, it's not that the universe has a little like calendar and a clock and be like, okay, so tomorrow at this time this is going to happen, and in 3 months at this day on this minute this is going to happen. Like, you very much have, you're like the facilitator of divine timing. So yeah, the universe has their own timing, but you can also like resist it or like sort of like boost these changes and transformations and transits that have to happen, or like that are supposed to happen, as much as in the same way that you can literally like prevent divine timing from even happening at all if you refuse to do the work, or if you keep yourself trapped in patterns and things like that. Yeah, that's what I'm getting for you guys. I hope that made sense. I'm going to pull the tarot now for you, and we're going to look into what your person's higher self wants you to know about this connection at this time. Then afterwards, we're going to take some advice as well as more channeled messages from your person's higher self, and spirit animals, which is always something that I love doing. So I said this part of the reading is probably going to be shorter, but it turned out to be longer than other readings. I think, I'm not entirely sure. So that's that for this reading. So what you need to do now, and in the extended, which again is going to be linked down below, if I manage to upload it, because again, I haven't done it before, so you never know what happens. Yeah, in the extended, we're going to look into your person's 3D human self, like the real person's, the earthly human person's version self of your person. Wow, that was a very intricate, needlessly intricate way of saying that. But yeah, we're going to look into their energy towards you at this time, and their intentions and their possible next moves towards you, as well as channel messages from them to you at this time. But for now, Pile 3's person's higher self. What messages do you have for Pile 3 regarding this connection at this time? What messages do you have, Pile 3's person's higher self, for Pile 3 at this time? Okay, so that came out very fast. This is the 10 of Swords. Starting off strong. What else do you... Oh, we have the Empress. We have the Empress. What else do you need Pile 3 to know, to be aware of about this connection? Something flip. We have the Page of Wands. And one more flipped. We have the High Priestess. Yeah, why am I not surprised that one came out? Number 2 might definitely be relevant because we have the number 2 twice. What else? One more card, please. Okay. We have the 7 of Cups. What about this 10 of Swords, please? Your person's higher self is definitely some tinge of Venusian energy. They might have a Venus rising, your person, or a Venus sun, Venus ruled sun, Venus ruled signs are Libra and Taurus. We have the Two of Pentacles to clarify the Ten of Swords. What do I take? I'm going to put this back because that was very unclear. Whatever needs to come through will come through. Like, I need you guys to understand also that it doesn't really even matter which specific cards come out sometimes, because the message and like the picture that is being painted by the cards will always be like, there's different ways to say the same thing, you know. Yeah, sometimes of course like very specific cards need to come out, and they will. Yeah, I just felt the need to say that. So we have the Eight of Pentacles to clarify the Empress. What about this Page of Wands? You're being worked towards becoming the Empress, to embodying the Empress. Like, the Empress is all the queens combined. So she's like, it's funny that I mentioned all these elements earlier, and now I feel called to say like that because I don't mention it always with the Empress, but right now I feel called to say she is all the queens combined. So like the Queen of Cups, water, the Queen of Wands, fire, the Queen of Earth, Queen of Pentacles, earth, and the Queen of Swords, air, all combined. You're really being led to grander things, I want to say. Because if this connection happened right now, it wouldn't be grand. That's what I'm hearing. We have the Devil, Capricorn energy, to clarify the Page of Wands. So in terms of zodiac signs, now we do have, what was this? Well, the High Priestess is associated with Pisces. And the Empress, I'm never entirely sure, actually. Well, it's Venus. Yeah, Venus. But I also believe that it's the feminine signs. I know this is divine feminine energy, but the Devil is, oh wow, I just noticed that we have the divine feminine, like the ethereal, like the higher realms divine feminine, and the earthly divine feminine. So you're definitely being, things are being woven in such a way that you can embody the same energy on the 5D as well as in the 3D, and that's fucking powerful. You're like, if this is not happening on the way that you're feeling it on the 5D, it's because you guys are both being led into embodying this emperor and empress energy. But yeah, I was saying zodiac signs, we also have the Devil with Capricorn, which I already said. Page of Cups, oh my god, look at this, this is so cute. I can't. She has a little flower on her head. Okay. This deck is way too cute. Way too cute. What about the Seven of Cups, please? Wow, we have the King of Wands. The King of Wands. And on the bottom of the deck, we have the Six of Swords. And below that, the Nine of Pentacles and the Seven of Swords. Okay. Your person's higher self wants you to acknowledge where it is that you're playing small. With this Devil clarifying the Page of Wands. Where you are allowing your conditioning, like your childhood conditioning, your societal conditioning, to make you feel like you are small, to make you play small. I'm getting the image of like breaking the roof, the glass rooftop, something like that, that you're keeping yourself stuck in lower places because of outside conditioning, whatever that might be. You could have struggled a lot with things like solar plexus, like an underactive solar plexus, or like a hurt blocked solar plexus type of energy, in which you don't like, which you have a hard time speaking up for yourself, or like standing your ground, or going after what it is that you want, or like following your passions, things like that. You might have always felt like you had to fulfill other people's expectations, or other people's expectations, like society's expectations about you and about your life. Okay, sorry, I was interrupted. But what I was going to say next It is really interesting because this person's higher self comes across as this beautiful, I want to say air and water, but very, very like serene type of energy that I already said like 10 times. But your higher self, which has just come to, like, she's begun to like permeate into the this person's higher self wants you to become aware of your higher self. That's the best way that I can describe it. And your higher self, for as how your person's higher self sees your higher self, your own higher self, is this bold, fiery, like fire and earth type of energy. And again, like higher self energy does not necessarily have to match in that sense, like the elements and whatever, like the vibes of your 3D like human self. Of course, they are, well, you can argue like they're one and the same, but of course, like they're different version and aspects and manifestations of the self. But what this, they want you to align your human self with your 5D higher self. They want you to start embodying this Empress energy. You are keeping yourself in Page energy. And the energy that I was getting is you might indeed sort of like play small, in the sense of you might not even dare expressing or asking for whatever it is that you want, like from a partner, from friends. Like you might just sort of like shut down and then push down your own needs and wishes and wants, because you're afraid of asking too much, and like, who am I to ask for attention? Like I shouldn't be asking for attention. Like I wanted to say that word very, very quietly, because you might feel like wanting attention is something that is bad, that is something that makes you needy or something like that. So you rather would keep quiet about those things because you feel like you would be too much, or like a burden to people, and people would be like whatever, like, no, that's stupid, that's silly. Like you feel like people would call you off, or like tell you off, or even this person specifically, like you might be afraid of saying, like, you might be afraid of setting boundaries with this person, or expressing your needs and wants and wishes. Like if you miss them, if you miss communication with this person, if you would like to see them more, you're likely not even telling them, or like just like refraining from telling them, because you're like, yeah, why am I asking? Like you feel guilty asking things of people, and not even like, oh, give me your car for the weekend or something like that, or can I sleep at your house? It's like for a week or something. It's more like, hey, do you want to spend time together? Like those things. Like if you are in a relationship with someone, hey, would you like, I really means a lot to me when you use words of affirmation, or like when you use touch to like express your love. Can you do more of that? Because it really makes me feel good. You're really hesitant to do that, and you feel like you have this like subconscious pattern, like hidden pattern, suppressed pattern of almost not even acknowledging your own wishes and needs, because you're like, it's fine, no, I shouldn't even be needing this, like I should be, it's like you're practicing emotional minimalism. You're like, I shouldn't even be wanting these things, because, and now I don't even know why that is, and that's probably because you're not super aware and in touch with this pattern. It's like I can't even get to the bottom of this because you're not aware of the bottom of what the bottom of this is. So this is definitely like an invitation for you to look into this. So like, why is it that you feel so... Because for what I'm being described right now, like your human self, and this doesn't have to be literally always at all times. Like human beings are multifaceted, dynamic, multidimensional beings. So of course, like in the way you're going to be at one moment is not going to be the same in which you're going to be the next moment. But the way in which it's being described to me right now, for how you feel, what your energy is like as a human being, is very shy, collected within yourself, centered within your own energy. And your higher self is like quite silent and quiet and calm, and almost like just like hiding in a little corner, and just like being afraid of putting yourself out there, just wanting to be a little invisible, not wanting to be seen too much, not wanting to stir the pot, and just wanting to keep things peaceful and quiet a lot. And not coming across as self-centered, like egocentric, not wanting to like steal the spotlight or something, or thinking that you don't deserve the spotlight. Perhaps when people ask you things, or like, how are you doing, like how do you, like, they ask you things about yourself, you might be like, well, why do you even care? Like, well, I'm not that interesting. Like, we shouldn't be talking. You might feel guilty when you talk about yourself, and And you might wonder why people even indeed like care about talking about you, because you're like we should be talking about you. I should not put the focus on myself at this time. I should put the focus on other people. This is likely my people pleasing pile. And your higher self, or as it's being described to me, is indeed this like earth fire. It's like bold out there, just like this bold, colorful, this like explosion of energy self. And I know that that's this energetic, like unafraid, unhinged, unapologetic version of you is somewhere in there. But your physical, material, human self is not really in touch, or she's not really. I want to say she, because you are coming across as like the Empress and the High Priestess and as a feminine energy. But like, I apologize. I will keep it neutral. Just know, as I always say, like statistically speaking, like literally YouTube stats show that like 99% of, or something like that, of watchers, of viewers of videos are women, essentially females. So that's also how the energy is usually being translated into the cards. Like that's what's coming through the strongest, because that's what it's, that's the most people watching these. But this definitely does not have to be like that. You can still resonate with this if you're a male, if you are like, everyone has divine feminine, divine masculine energy. So again, this does not have to do anything with gender or sex or gender expression or anything like that. I keep feeling the need to like take deep breaths and just like relax within my body, and I feel like that's what your person's higher self wants you to do. It's like your person's higher self wants to give you like a back massage, like a shoulder massage. Yeah, and don't feel guilty for wanting things. That's what I'm getting with the Seven of Cups. And I'm not getting like indecision and wishy-washiness. I'm getting like, don't be afraid to state boldly, like, this is what I want, this is what I need, like, this is what I desire. And of course, it's not your place to tell people like, oh, you have to give this to me, like, you have to talk to me, you have to respond to my messages, you have to spend time with me, because that would also not be, that is also not divine feminine. That is, if anything, that is like low frequency masculine energy, like pretending and demanding and just like being entitled. That's not what this is about. It's being like, I know what I want and I deserve to get what I want. Okay, this could literally indeed just be like someone who is affectionate with you, someone who is expressive about their feelings with their words, or like with gifts, or anything that you desire in terms of how you wish to receive love. This is what I wanted, this is how I want it to happen, and I deserve it, and it's okay if you can't give it to me. Like, I will still express it to you. Like, I can express to you what I want, and then it's up to you what you do with that information. And once you know what you want, and once you realize that you deserve to get what you want, you will not even be going after people and things who are not willing or able to offer that to you. You will find peace in one way or another, and this doesn't literally mean like, oh, you will not have feelings for that person anymore. You will walk away from that person, or you will be like, your shit. Not at all. Like, this will look very different for everyone. Like what that unfolds into. Yeah, this is the energy that I'm getting with this Eight of Pentacles clarifying the Empress. It's so cool because these pentacles, I don't know if you can see it, kind of, yeah, you can see it, like these pentacles are sort of like going upwards towards this Empress, and she's like looking up, and it's like, oh my god, look at this! I'm screaming! So the High Priestess, so like the Divine Feminine in the 5D, and the Empress, the Divine Feminine in the 3D, are looking at each other. They're just looking at each other. They're trying to connect. And in the physical, material energy, it's sort of like pushing you into embodying this Empress energy, so that in the way that she can be in touch with her 5D higher self version. Do you see that? I'm going to show you these just real quick like that. Look at this. They're looking at them. They're looking at each other. This is literally what is happening in this pile, you guys. This is so beautiful, and I feel like this energy that I'm in currently, you are such soft, kind, gentle, nurturing, beautiful like pastel colors, soul. This is what you feel like at this time, and there's nothing wrong with being soft and gentle and sort of like low-key and pastel. You get to be everything. That's what I'm hearing. Like, you get to be everything. You get to still be gentle and passionate. Well, I guess also that you get to be gentle and pastel, but also have this side of you that you know that you have, and that you know that you want to unleash, that is all fiery and earthy and bright colors and like that. Even though, well, this is still a pretty innocent, gentle, young image, but you know, if you take away the face and you just look at look at the colors, yeah, this again, this one was calling my attention so much. She's like her titties out and everything, so yeah, that's what I'm getting for you, pile 3. Let's take some advice for you before we move on to more channel messages from your person's higher self, as well as spirit animals that might be relevant to you and your connection at this time. And then I'm so excited to get into the extended, to look at how your person, like your 3D human, is currently feeling about you, and what is going to come out of the situation with them, what their next moves will be, I guess, and their intentions. Okay, so what do we have for pile 3? Okay, so that was quick. Simple pleasures. Look at beauty that is all around you. Yeah, again, with this earth pulsing and like pulse of mother, time in nature, slow down. This is definitely the call for you to embody this Empress energy of like spending time in nature and being in tune, and just sitting down and letting things come to you, and realizing that you are deserving of pleasure, that you get to like enjoy yourself, that you get to have what you want, that you get to be happy. Like, you deserve to be happy, you deserve love, you deserve affection, you deserve attention. Way of faith, let faith be your guide. Again, if you know that the situation is for you, trust it and it will. If you know what you want, whether you get it from this person, from this situation or not, and know you want this person specifically, and that's okay. But if you are able to make peace with the fact that whatever is meant for you will come to you, either through this person or another person or in other ways, whatever, you will find so much freaking power within yourself. Like, even like this doesn't mean like accepting or sort of like parting ways from this person, or like not having feelings for this person anymore. It's just making peace and finding your own, being more centered and being less attached, and being less sort of like absorbed in this person and in the outcome of this connection. I feel like I said it in one of the previous piles, but detach to connect. Detach to connect. Like, get detached and detach from the expectations of how you think this should be going, and just really tune into yourself and into your Empress energy and in what you want. Look at this. Slow down to relax. Slow down twice to relax. Break to enjoy the beauty around you. Look for beauty that is all around you. Like, are you getting this? Like, Venusian energy so strongly. Oh my god, this is so beautiful. Okay, so we're taking some channeled messages now for my own... why is this deck so hard to shuffle all the time? We're taking... channeled messages from this person's higher self to you. Oh my god, this deck is so hard to shuffle! Like, it gets stuck like this all the time, and I can't, like... Very annoying. Very annoying. Very annoying. Sometimes my Aries moon just comes out and they're like, rah! Okay. Let's give this a good shuffle. I love using this deck because there's like 100 cards in here, and I wrote down just like there's no real theme to this deck. It's just concepts of like all types of nature. So I honestly have no idea. I don't even recall like 3/4 of the things that I wrote in here. So it's always like a nice surprise. Be like, oh right, I don't recall writing this down. And it's just like the most seemingly random. Of course, they're not random. They're very significative, but It's the most seemingly like random things. So it's always very nice to see how they apply to situations. Okay, this is my last shuffle. Pile 3's person's higher self. What messages do you have for Pile 3 at this time? Some synchronicity, some things that Pile 3 needs to focus on, or needs to hear. Oh wow, look at that. Trauma lens. Trauma lens. Yeah, this whole insecurity about not daring to ask, about not daring, like about your self-worth. Likely like solar plexus energy, like playing small. Close. I'm hearing so close but so far away. Things might be closer than they seem. And perhaps like the outcome that you desire, that your heart truly is longing for, is closer than you may believe. Eye of the Hurricane. I literally said this in, well, I said Eye of the Storm, but Eye of the Hurricane. I said this in the previous pile. But this is indeed also inviting you to find peace and quiet within yourself and within your surroundings. I want to say, like, often when I'm talking about peace, or like when peace, calm and quiet come through, it's all about finding peace within yourself. But this is also seeking it without yourself. Like, go out in nature and just listen to the sounds of nature and things like that, to like find peace within yourself and your surroundings. What other messages or synchronicities or concepts or things do you have to share with Pile 3 at this time? Please. Pretty please. So we have look up. Yeah, connect. Look up, connect to your higher self. Connect to your inner core, most like aligned high vibe self, I want to say, so that you know what it is that you truly want to embody and what you're sort of like led to be embodying. Oh my god, there's a lot of cards. So we have, I'm listening. Your guides and the universe and your higher self are listening. This is really a call for you to get in touch with, I guess, your guides and the universe, and I guess just ask, like, the universe is literally daring you to place in little questions about, hey, this is what I want. This is what I want. Please provide. Please provide to me like clear signs of the fact that you have heard my prayers, that you have heard my requests and my questions to you. Please give me signs, like, to show that about like where I'm supposed to go, like little synchronicities, like animals, numbers. Just ask for specific things, and you will receive answers. Astrology. You might be wanting to look into your Chiron, your Lilith, perhaps. Perhaps like also synastry with this person's birth chart and their wounds. Their wounds. They're like wounded, like wounded healer placement, like Chiron and also Lilith. Nuance. Yeah, I'm getting perhaps like, again, this balance between like the particles and like the atoms and the bigger picture, and it is real, but at the same time it's not really happening right now in the 3D, and you have to be like accepting of all facets of reality, and not like, it's not, life is not black and white. Life is not black and white, and you're being called to be aware of that, I guess. So we have 2 more cards. Silver lining. Go find that silver lining and that healing within all situations. No way out but through. No way out but through. You cannot get a shortcut out of this situation. You have to go through it. It's one of my favorite concepts in the fucking world. There's no way out but through. I want to take one more. Okay, we have gentle. Stay gentle with yourself. There's so much power within your gentleness, your calm, your beautifully calm and soft pastel energy. I love that so much. I'm just gonna put that here. So let's see into what spirit animals. Yeah, this reading is a little bit longer than the other ones, I feel like, but that's okay. What spirit animals are relevant to pile 3 and this connection, and animals that perhaps might be synchronistic for pile 3 about this connection and about their journey of becoming the Empress in general, I guess. So what spirit animals do we have for pile 3? Oh, look at this! We have the owl with magic. Choose to know the truth because you can. Open your inner vision. You can see through deception. Let the past go and make room for a better life. Rise up. Magic and wisdom are your birthright. Rise up. That's the core message of this card, I feel like. I need to scratch my eye. Wait a second. Okay. What other sweet... okay. Oh my god. Oh, panic. Okay, so... I want to put these back. Though I feel like this one is relevant, so I'm going to keep it. This one also flipped out. Dragon, supernatural. You are the ancient white sage. You can shapeshift. Wow, can't read. You are the ancient white sage. White sage! We have the white sage tarot. This is like... Oh, wait. This says wise sage. I'm sorry, guys. Oh my god. Okay. You can... This is literally like the fifth... Technically, like, it is the third, but it's like the fifth thing that I filmed today. But okay, you are the ancient wise sage. You can shapeshift at will. Mastery is your destiny. Rise with dignity. Rise again, this rising up. Then we have the white stag with protector. You are an old soul. Your best friend is nature. There you go. Use your intuition to take you where you want to go. Awaken the powerful force within you. You are meant to create blessings with your magic. I want to take one more. I'm gonna take one more for you, pile 3. One more for pile 3, please. One more for pile 3. The Northern Lights might be significant because I'm getting you with this card, and also this kind of really reminded me of that. The Northern Lights. The North, Iceland, Greenland, things like that might be some type of synchronicity for you. Getting like Finland, like Scandinavia, things like that. Unicorn, infinite possibilities. You are the sovereign of the seen and the unseen world. The magic of love surrounds you. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of light. Brah. Sorry. This might be something that you feel called to. The Northern Lights. I don't know what that means. Okay, you will know what it means. And if you have to look into it, if this is synchronistic for you. Like, sometimes you get channel messages that don't make sense to the channeler itself. But it has to, like... These messages are for you. They just come through me, so I don't know what that means, but like for you it might mean something. Beauty transforms you. Listen to the spirits of lights, of the light. Abandon the darkness. Go beyond the ordinary and become the legendary. Yeah, the dragonfly is also about like transformation and abandoning the dark and going. Yeah, there's something about like you have to unleash your inner light because there's such a bright light coming from you, and you probably are not even using that light because, like, white, you might have a very beautiful white aura for some of you. White, purple, and green. I'm getting. But I feel like I'm not getting a lot of information about that because you're not even in touch with that energy yourself.